wanna
Watch People Have the Worst Day of Their Lives podcast.
Cry about it.
Show Exchange, where this week we're talking about Dexter, Season 5, and Jessica Jones, Season 1. You know, these seasons of television are really soul-crushing. As a teenager, I only used to watch Jessica Jones when I was in a depressive state, and Dexter Season 5 starts off similarly oppressive in tone. Spoiler alert for both.
in reality, the powerful, elite, powerful men, who hurt women, and men, they don't meet justice. The scales are not balanced. And Dexter and Lumen, they seek to balance those scales through murder, and Jessica tries it through the law. And in the end, I mean, it's like May Parker said in the Insomniac games: when you kill one rapist, you help everybody.
It's not what she said. I'm pretty sure she said when you help one person, you help everyone. I mean, if you help one
What's the
person
difference?
kill a rapist, I guess. Well, because like if you help one person kill a rapist, that's one thing. But you know, it's another thing. I feel like, I guess it's always helping someone. I don't know. In either case, if you get caught, you're going to jail. So, on this, we're not
I
advocating for
mean,
murder, but we're taking a Deb stance. We're also not advocating to not kill. Yeah.
it's self-defense.
you know, somewhat. Both of these shows, they examine the depths of humanity and the pitfalls of masculinity, the cunning it would take out someone who seems so untouchable. It's like these people they build up, whether it's like realistic or quote unquote realistic in Dexter, where they try to show how systems in real life can protect, someone who's guilty of, you know, these sorts of crimes. Um in Jessica Jones, it's like a allegory where it's like uh nobody will believe you, which is also another harrowing example of like how real it can get. And it's like, even just thinking about it for like, yeah, man, just the layers of it. It's like, not only is he like, once you get close, you can't really even, that with the purple guy, Kilgrave. Um, it's like, you know, once you get close, you can't really control because it's like, he seemingly has all the control, but, also nobody will believe you that like a man can do that, not only with the severity of the crimes, but with the method, which, yeah, we'll be starting off with Jessica Jones. Uh, it's a really good show.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
Oh yeah,
possibly, peak. Yeah.
sad peak.
So
It's soul crushing peak.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, yeah, talking about no one will believe you. Also, I mean, no one wants to believe you. Like,
Yeah, it's
um,
scary.
like, even if I mean, it's also just kind of inconvenient. Like, you know,
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, great. It's like, even if you believe them, like, would you do anything? Like, would you get involved, like, at all? I mean, obviously, like, a hero would, um, but you know, Jessica Jones doesn't see herself as a hero. She's just, just a concerned citizen.
she's just she's just a private eye, and
Um,
like she
yeah,
actively avoids that moniker, that title of being a hero. You know,
and
yeah. I mean, for those
she
who
doesn't go
don't
out of her
know,
way.
yeah, She doesn't go out
Uh,
of her way to like, yeah, she
until
like because of her past. Yeah,
okay,
until
yeah, man. Kilgrave returns, who he's seemingly unstoppable. Um, but he needs to be captured alive to save Hope from prison for a crime she was forced to commit. Because really, you can just shoot this guy. Um, but
yeah, I mean, if you're like far enough away, you could like shoot him.
I mean, if
It's
you're
crazy
sneaky
nobody
enough,
has. Well, I mean, until like the very end,
I mean, he does have
man, you're like
hired
on a
like security watching him at all times.
yeah.
Um,
I
but
mean, but yeah, just to go back onto Hope, it's like yeah, the it's Starlight from The Boys, and the crime she's
right,
forced to commit is
Aaron,
like Aaron, shout out Aaron Moriarty, bro. They could never make me hate you, bro,
he
or
killed it.
criticize you. Yeah, man.
He
Don't call
killed
her
them.
parents it, okay? Don't call their parents an it. And yeah, man, fucking man, that the whole first episode is great at building tension, It's focused around Jessica just finding Hope, which like, naming her Hope is crazy. He's like every time Hope does something like it's like you can't even talk about it. Like it's Jessica finding hope that she can like you know, either save her or like and she doesn't even know the purple guy's involved until, they get to this restaurant that he loves, and he doesn't even really show up until like episode 3. Like I don't think he shows up in the flesh for a while. A good 3 hours of television. You know,
I mean,
it's
yeah,
just
like not like in person, I guess. There's visions
yeah,
from
the
tongue
flashback
stuff, which
or
is very uncomfortable. Obviously for
don't
her.
call it that.
Stuff with
Yeah.
the tongue. I mean, w- sorry. Right.
It's
Anyways,
it's very hard to strike a balance here, because like we're guys on a podcast. We're usually laughing and giggling. Yeah,
whoa.
man. And even like when we talk about this episode, well, not even just this episode, this series, like especially the later seasons, or like different traumas, it's easy to use humor, or like you may have some nervous laughter here and there, but man, just the severity of it, like all we really know in episode 1 is that Jessica has a history with this guy. Once she figures out that it's him, who made Hope disappear, it's yeah, it's very troubling for her, and she's already struggling with the trauma of what he did, at the beginning of the episode. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I always really related to Jessica and how she kind of responds to trauma. She's a heavy drinker. Um, like we said, she's a private eye. But you know, yeah, she's not. She kind of opts to not deal with. I don't know. Like she doesn't really confront it until it comes to her front door, literally. You know, um, it's something that she would rather not talk about. Like she believes that Kilgrave is dead, um until this happens. It's kind of uncanny, and like man, it even adds to that like sort of untouchable air he gives himself.
Hmm.
uh yeah, that he's just back from the dead. Like yeah, I don't know. And when she finds Hope, just that scene of like her yeah, she's like it's a great representation of what Kilgrave's power is, her trying to drag Hope out of, the hotel room, and she's like fighting, like it's almost like she's fighting for her life to stay in that bed, you know? Yeah, I've had a different sort of trauma, but it's I can't really relate perfectly. But yeah, it seems like a pretty good representation of what, a toxic, well, not even just, this is way beyond toxic. It's like what a relationship abusive to that magnitude can feel like, honestly. And it's like how you can't really even help people get out of it, unless you are, you know, metaphorically or literally super strong.
Mhm. Yeah, well said. Well said. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, no, I mean it.
I mean, yeah, like when she goes to her best friend, Patsy Trish Patsy Walker, you know, um, you know, she's not really giving any details. She just asks for money, which is another thing. Jess is not really a good friend. She has no illusions about being she tries not to be a shitty person, but she's not necessarily a good person or a good friend, which makes her extremely relatable. So when she goes to Trish quote Patsy quote Walker, um, she's not really giving any details, just saying, yeah, man, I've got to get the fuck out of here. I need fucking $3,000 or some shit. And when Trish, ever so in character, pushes her for details, she just says, he's back. You know, the type of yeah, I can't use aura. It's fucked. Uh, yeah,
Man, evil ass
or
aura,
Mystique.
man.
I don't. Yeah, man, he's such an evil ass aura, dude. Where it's like, man. We talked a lot about how Kingpin, you know, built up this like sort of air of mystique around him. Man. I feel a lot more comfortable talking about Kingpin. You know, um, man,
Because
like people
he's a
don't even
villain,
want to
not a
say his
monster.
name. Well, I don't know. We don't know what he's done, but I mean,
I was
yeah,
celibate until
it's
I met
like
Vanessa.
probably, and fucking
Volso.
incel
I had
ass.
many opportunities, but I wanted to wait till marriage.
My hog is. I'm not gonna say that.
My hog is
Three
unremarkable, but
300 pounds of
that never
three
stuck with
hundred
me.
pounds of pure hog. But yeah,
Nineteen
it's just
inches of
like
venom.
yeah, it's like yeah, like they do a similar thing in Daredevil season 1, but it's just yeah, it's like a mystique he created. It's like curated. While with Kilgrave, it's like while he does take steps to make sure he's never exposed, you know, yeah, it just hits different because it's like you know, people know of Kingpin. They'll talk about Kingpin, they just won't say his name. While even the bare mention of something Kilgrave has done is, yeah, it's out of the question to even talk about it because, like we said, nobody will believe you. Nobody wants to believe you. You know, but Trish is just, I don't know. I take her as somebody who really just like wants to help. She really ever so desperately wants to help. Not just because it's Jessica, she runs a show, Trish Talk. She's not necessarily a podcaster. I guess you could find it on like Spotify or something, but it's
Oh
a
yeah, she
radio show.
definitely has an RSS.
Nah, man, they probably got something more expensive than RSS, man. Fucking shit, man. She's loaded. That's why Jessica comes to her asking for money. But like, yeah, I think because of some things in her past, she's really into the idea of like, being a hero and
Saving people.
Jessica, being a hero. Yeah, and she's one of the reasons, she's the only person that convinces Jessica to, join the fray because like, Hope, like even before she finds Hope, man, Jessica's ready to like run, you know? Which is like a recurring theme in the season, Jessica just wanting to get away from it all, which you really can't.
I think there's definitely more you can say about Trish in the later seasons. They hint at it here, and it's all good. Um, but
Not even
I
just
mean, yeah, we
hint,
could talk about her
you know.
relationship with Simpson. Um,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a part of it.
That's like one of the least interesting things about Trish. I don't know. Her relationship with Simpson.
Um, yeah, Jessica will make many friends and enemies in her hunt to get Kilgrave, but ultimately, she comes to the conclusion that the system just cannot handle someone like Kilgrave. I mean, it can't even handle Hogarth's power, which is vastly inferior. Hogarth, who I meant to bring up earlier, but I guess I forgot.
She's an evil
Um,
ass lesbian,
d-
bro. She's evil. She's evil, man. She's
yeah,
a defense attorney, man. And like after Daredevil, man, you might think this shit is all sunshine and rainbows, bro. No, no, these guys defend the worst people ever. And she doesn't only do defenses, sometimes she does, personal litigation, civil suits
mhm.
and the like.
Her
Yeah, she's not all
receptionist.
bad. Jessica, yeah, she does her receptionist, as my co-host so eloquently implied. Man, yeah. Uh yeah. Um I don't know. Like when you talk about like Hogarth's power, I mean, it's just like another thing I really love about the show is like, nothing is black and white. They're really like in Daredevil, there's like okay, there's the good defense attorney and then there's the goofy defense attorney, there's the good cops and then there's the bad cop. In Jessica Jones, there's only shades of gray, or shades of purple if you go by the intro. Um it's just
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say Hogarth is all good or all bad or all anything.
She's a product of her upbringing and environment and nature and all that bullshit. Um, but so were all the people that she hurt.
Her wife, first and foremost, who we see in the first episode, who she's cheating on relentlessly. Like she really, really, I don't know. She cares about her wife, but she doesn't give a fuck about her feelings. Like, Hogarth is an intensely, selfish person, for better or for worse. Like if you can convince Hogarth that doing something good will help her, then she will do it. But yeah, it's the show has a lot of nuance. It's not like every good character is a guy or every good character is a girl and every guy is like, super evil.
But some people just can't be handled by the system, and changing the system takes time. So, Jessica needs to take matters into her own hand. And that's what heroes do. Cape or no cape.
I still would not call Jessica a hero, you know. But yeah. Um yeah, just I mean, for
She's a hero to
mainly the
me.
first reason cuz she wouldn't want to be called a hero, you know.
That just makes her
But
even
yeah,
more of a
just like
hero,
it's
obviously.
like yeah, just to jump back a bit, like I said, like not every guy in this show is like horrible. Like we spent a lot of time so far talking about Kilgrave, but like
Yeah, let's
yeah,
get into boys.
you've got dudes like Malcolm, heavily in a shade of gray. The building's resident addict, man.
Oh yeah.
He's some of the only comedic relief in this show early on.
You
I
think
I
addiction
don't
is
know.
funny?
Yeah, he's addicted to hair. Well, I think eating your neighbor's peanut butter is funny. I knew it wasn't crunchy.
Hmm.
I'm giggling about it, man. He steals a TV, man. Malcolm, Hi Malcolm is a joy to watch. My thing is though, yeah, like we said, spoilers for both these shows, man. He does get clean, and I think that plot point is pretty great. But yeah, I don't know. I do kind of prefer Malcolm when he's high, even when we
Oh
get into
man,
later
so does
seasons.
Kilgrave. Yeah,
But yeah,
he's gone.
Malcolm though, I just think yeah, like the show gets so depressing, man, and Malcolm's like some of the only levity and they do use his addiction in a serious manner. And the arc where, he gets clean is one of the best in the show. We learn that he's the first, well, not the first person Jessica saved, I'm sure. But because really isn't that Trish? I don't know. But
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I
I
guess it
mean,
depends.
he's
But
one of
yeah.
the first. He's one of the first in like, her adult life, I guess. Um
Hmm.
and yeah, he's implicated with her, throughout. I mean, I think it's a small contrivance, but it can be explained away by like Kilgrave's, you know, um obsession, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Malcolm just gets a little bit dry once he's clean, I mean, if they like kept him as like a Kramer type, which he really is like a Kramer type early on. I don't know. It's like the
Yeah.
dark
I
side
would
of
also
Kramer.
say,
What if Kramer was following
um,
you and taking photos of you?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's an episode where he does that.
What do you mean?
Man, it's well, there's an episode where of Seinfeld, um, where
Oh, Seinfeld,
yeah, where
where
yeah,
Kramer is like,
yeah, Kramer, Kilgrave takes a very strong interest in George Costanza, and Kramer is
hmm,
you know, mind controlled
he's
to
made
follow
into a
him,
thrall.
which is weird because he's not
Yeah.
even George Costanza's neighbor. That doesn't even make sense for the joke. So
Let's see. Uh yeah, I don't know. I just think yeah, like after he's
anyway,
just a little bit I think Malcolm's acting after, he gets I, I think Malcolm's acting after he gets clean is just a little bit too clean cut. And I understand why they did that. He is the first person of color I think we see in this show. If you count, I guess there's the Asian guys. Well, no, he's in like the second episode, the second scene. But yeah, speaking of taking pictures of people without knowing, we've got a Luke who Jessica Jones is spying on, seemingly as a part of her job, but not really. She's doing it for her own personal reasons. I think, the way the relationship develops, it's very cute to watch. I mean, I was an impressionable kid who had a crush on Jessica. And obviously, man, it's like the one black guy in the show. He's like fucking
okay, you can't. They
hyper
can't
Chad.
both be the one black guy of the show if there's two of them.
Well, I said Malcolm was the first, man.
Okay, but if he's the first, how could this be the one? If there's already a subsequent,
Well, I said person of color. I don't even know if Malcolm's black. Pretty sure he's like Arab.
and they use a lot of
Yeah.
black
I mean,
microaggressions towards him
yeah,
in
they
the
do.
season two
I
and
mean,
three.
but whatever. Well, in season one, mostly also. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. The relationship that Luke and Jessica develops, it's like it's sweet and yeah, as a kid, man, impressionable kid watching this. I mean, obviously I related to Luke, man. He's him. And I had a crush on Jessica as well because, I hate to say it, but come on. Come on. Yeah, it's very cute, but it's also dark. She's lying to him on like almost every level. She's lying to him about how she knows him. She's lying to him about how much she knows. She's lying about being hired to spy on him when it's really just what she's doing. And I mean, she plays it off so cool. But like, yeah, the way she does him is so dirty,
Yeah,
really. especially when you
You
get
know,
into like later episodes. She kind of treats him like shit.
yeah. Um, I mean, you said earlier, that Malcolm's kind of the only comedic relief, but I think Jessica
Oh
Jones
yeah.
has a lot of dry humor. So does Kilgrave, honestly. I think
Jessica is very
I
funny. Yeah,
yeah.
man, we're not even there yet, but yeah,
Luke
Jessica, but
says
also Luke as well.
Luke has some good
Not even
lines,
just
like
the
sweet
catchphrase.
Christmas.
Yeah, not even just the catchphrase, but like, yeah, I don't know. Luke is not having a horrible time. Luke is fucking women every night and running his bar. He's like, he has tragedy, but he's living his dream. Man, he's kind of like an example that Jessica looks up to. He's kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel for her. But like, if she was taking pot shots at it with yeah, I guess there's also Hope there, but like Hope is really, yeah, yeah. I can't even say her name. She's Hope. She's not. The goal. You don't really strive for hope. Hope is something you hold on to. Um, but yeah, I mean, if you want to talk comedic characters, man, you got Ruben and Robin, man. Ruben is another man of the
Exactly.
series. Man, one of the other two characters from The Boys show up from this, or two actresses from The Boys show up in this. You got Erin Moriarty and uh, I don't know Robin's name, but she's Ashley in The Boys. I was
Yeah.
just thinking about. I thought this was Ashley.
That's
Man, The
other
Boys,
Ashley.
man. That show
We'll
tickles
go
me,
get to
man.
it.
Oh
We'll
man,
get to it.
I needed that. I needed that. Damn man,
Yeah, man.
that's
Funny
that is
rapist
tricky.
versus serious rapist. Interesting.
What are you talking? All right. Well, you can't say it like that, but yeah, I mean,
I mean, but
you
that's
know,
kind of what we're saying. I mean, how is I mean
well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I guess I'll take
we're hooting our
honesty
hollering at
aside here.
Chance Crawford or whatever the hell. But
Well, I was talking about Black Noir, though.
man, he's in the scene.
That's
He's
his
talking to the
line.
deep.
That's his line.
He's talking to the
But
deep.
yeah,
All
I
right,
mean,
whatever.
just like it's crazy, man. People call the deep the peak, man. Cut that out. I don't want to see any
Yeah,
of that in season
man.
5. Cut that shit out.
No, man, I can already
Uh,
see it now. All the comments are gonna be like, "Oh my god, they killed the peak." It's like I stopped watching when they killed the peak. I stopped watching when they killed the peak.
yeah,
Like,
check their hard drives. Yeah, and man, don't ever
man,
elect me into office. Not that you were planning on it, but I would lock all of you up. You guys would all go to prison, and
man,
you'd
yeah,
be on a
man, they would,
list.
yeah, you would be assassinated.
If you've ever called the deep the peak, I can't say that.
I'm pretty sure
Um,
any policy that actually protects the Americans would get you killed. Um,
yeah. I mean, not to say that everybody who thinks the peak is a funny joke is a terrible person, but and what are you doing, man? He's not the peak, man. He's
the
not even the best part of the
comedic
show. I
character.
mean, I will say he is a very funny character, and the way they do it, they really thread the needle. But yeah, I want to talk about Ruben. Ruben is funny in a similar way, except he doesn't really do much. His only sexual crime is probable incest with his sister Robin.
No,
Yeah,
no,
their
no.
relationship's just so weird.
They explain it.
You know, what do you mean they explain it? It's not explained. What do you mean?
No,
They don't
no, no.
deny it. They don't deny it.
She has to help him with his diaper sometimes.
He doesn't have he wears normal underwear. We see him in his underwear.
I swear he's wearing a diaper in that scene.
Nah, man, it's normal underwear.
Well, she has
You're
to help
fucking
him with put on his
infantilizing me.
pants. Man, what? You've never had to put on like the pants
No,
of like a
man. They're
kid?
just
I mean, a guy who
weirdly
needed help.
close for twins. They're just really no. I vividly remember throwing your pants at you when you had.
Well, okay, but I don't need help putting my pants on. I'm perfectly able to put my pants on. I don't. But like, say like someone say like someone came up to you and they said, "I need help. I need help putting my pants on." Are you just gonna let them stand there without
That's
their
that's
pants?
a, that's
That happened to
harassment.
me. That happened to me.
You should have gone to the police.
No, man. He was. Okay, the truth was he had his okay. He had his I okay, okay. He was wearing most of his pants. He was wearing most of his pants. He just needed help with his belt. Um, this
That's
was
crazy.
this was no.
That's
This
crazy.
was theater. This
How
was
old were you?
um
Oh no, you were underage. Your teacher came up to you. Oh.
who said it was a teacher? I said this is like a special ed kid. Man,
It
he
was a
needed help.
special. Okay, it was a special ed kid.
He
Okay,
needed help with his
I
pants,
mean, I can only
man.
assume. I mean, I don't
He
even think
he
Ruben
was
is
really into
special
FNAF.
ed. I just think. Well, what are you trying to say? But I never asked for help
It's
with
just
myself.
true. But
I
he
never
always
asked.
got the lore wrong. He always got the lore wrong. I would like have to
You're
stop
literally
myself
just
from
talking
arguing with
about
him.
me.
I would have to
You're
stop
literally
myself from
just talking
arguing
about me.
with this kid because like he would be watching like FNAF
I've
like
never
Gmod
I've
videos and
never asked
explaining
for
the
help
lore to
with my
people,
belt
and
when I
I would
was
just be
young.
like, fucking, okay, just
Okay. Well,
ignore
I
it. If
didn't.
like
I know you're
let
not talking about me now. And it was
yeah, man.
called. It was a study skills class. Okay. Anyway, uh, but I don't think Ruben is special needs at all. I mean, I think they're just fucking weird. I don't know. But I'll say one
I
thing about
think
that
he's
kid.
a
That
bit
boy could cook,
behind.
though.
He could
That boy
use a
cooked.
head. Wait, no, sorry. He could.
No, what?
He's
He could,
he's
okay, yeah, he could use a head,
he's a head behind the rest of us. I'll say that.
I guess, man. I don't know, man. I think man, that boy can cook. Um, let him
Not
cook.
anymore.
Got the banana bread. Yeah, he's ultimately a victim, just like our next guy on this list. We got the simp, bro. He's not a simp.
Bro, how is
Kind of simp.
Simpson a
The
victim?
Simpson. Well, he originally is a thrall of Kilgrave. He originally
You
is a
forget.
thrall of Kilgrave. Can you?
But before he was a thrall of
Here,
Kilgrave, he was a thrall of the United States government,
yeah, true. Which may be why Kilgrave targets
which
him
is
because of his
also an
because of his
army.
connection to that company.
I
That
mean, not
has
an
something to
army,
do
but
with both he and Jessica's powers. You may think when he shows up, he's like the good cop of this series. He's the series' Brett Mahomey. But no, he shows up and instantly tries to, murk Patsy after she calls out Kilgrave on a radio show. Um, and really, I mean, he's the perfect target because not only is he like, I won't say he's dirty per se, but like he's not necessarily upstanding, and his past connects him with some of like his and Jessica's origin,
mhm.
which one thing with this show, and especially later seasons, do evil scientists just have like secret forms that the government can't find? Like, why do they all know each other? Why are they all sharing their work, man? Even back to like the Incredible Hulk, man, they're on fucking Reddit. Like, oh yeah, they fucking if you do this with Gamma, bro, I bet you'll get so fucking strong.
Yeah, man, that's
What's up
like
with that?
intelligentsia, from She-Hulk. That's
Yeah,
it's I mean, I don't know.
yeah.
Are there any
Peak show, by the way.
examples? Ah, yeah, true. Peak
I
Show
mean, yeah, no,
also
I'm
has
just saying,
similar themes. But
not quite. It's
what do you
definitely an
mean?
easier watch.
There's
I mean, I would say there's similar
there's
themes,
revenge
but
porn.
the tone is so different. Yeah, the tone is so different in She-Hulk. It's an easier watch. I think Yeah,
But
Jessica
it's
Jones is
treated. I
about
mean,
somebody deeply traumatized. But yeah,
yeah.
Simpson. I really liked him actually. I wasn't necessarily against police when I first watched this, so my connection to him, uh, it's
You know,
pure.
me
It's
neither.
homegrown. Yeah, I thought he was great. The actor who plays him, he kind of gets. I think he should have gotten more screen time in later seasons.
He should have gotten the full
I think
face
it would
paint.
have added a lot. Yeah, no, he's Will Simpson is actually one of the Captain America replacements, they call him Nuke in the comics, and
Yeah,
I
give me a
really like it,
red.
like you said, yeah, give me a red, Doc. As we said, he tries to kill Trish, but he ends up, being with her, which it's like I guess, I didn't really love it at first, it's just a way to get him involved in the plot and to kind of show how he treats women. He's always so dismissive of Trish, who has a lot of skills in her own right. She does Krav Maga, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and she's a very good driver, very good driver. Um, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't really trust her with any of it. He doesn't even trust Jessica, who's an honest to god super being. Uh, which,
Super being. I
yeah,
mean, like a person with powers. I mean, the show does do a little to set up, anti-powered people sentiment in New York. There's like sort of
yeah,
a mini side plot where people a
really
family's
hire
like,
Jessica.
yeah, relatives were killed during the Avengers, I guess. And so they're
The
like,
incident, you
well,
mean?
yeah, the incident, right, right. So now we gotta kill every powered person because like the Hulk stepped on my baby or whatever.
With
Like,
a gun. Which, yeah, man, come on, good luck. Yeah, but yeah, one of the things I love about Jessica is like you don't really know the depth to her superpowers, even when she's discussing it with Luke. Like both of them don't really. It's not like they've gone and tested it, and like, why the fuck would you? But like they also play a bit coy with what she can do. I watched on my rewatch, I was watching with somebody who hadn't really seen it, and they kept asking me, "What can Jessica do?" And I was like, man, just uh just keep watching, and when they finally do explain it, like either it's veiled in sarcasm, like with that great moment, she's she fucking bluffs the laser eyes, man. How would a new viewer who's a little, you know uh not if they're on their phone, and they see her flashing the laser eyes, they're like, yeah, how would they know that she doesn't have laser eyes? I love that they
I
don't
mean, she
necessarily
says
show their whole
idiot.
hand with Jessica. Yeah, I know, man. Not everybody's listening 100% of the time. I love that scene
All
though. I
right, so
love
you
that scene.
gotta
I'm
you,
just,
you gotta
I,
if you're watching with your eyes and your ears closed, you might think Jessica has laser vision. I guess that's a
no,
good point.
I'm just saying how I like how they play coy with her powers. Like, like with the whole flying thing, right? In the comics, she can fly, but yeah, in this show, she just says it's like jumping and then falling, jumping really high and then falling. But, I'm of the opinion that Jessica probably could fly, you know. I was
Yeah, and it
hoping
probably
to see
works the
that
same
later
as in the
season.
comics, where it just makes her really sick.
Hmm,
Um,
I didn't know that.
and she just needs to practice it. Yeah, there's like a panel where she's like saying shit, 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 fuck, 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 like when she's flying. Then she's like talking to
Mm,
like Carol Danvers, who in this show is replaced with Trish Walker, who's Hellcat. Uh,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Carol
Like
Danvers gets
helping her, kind of,
yeah,
get her superhero identity going.
yeah, Jewel, who
And
you see
which
on
she
screen.
fully
Yeah.
rejects, which she fully rejects, um, the main villain of this show. You know, we've spent a lot of time, kind of beating around the bush with, and the show gives a great bit of effort to, building up his mystique. It's the Killgrave, or Kefri.
William Afton.
Yeah, he's the purple guy, dude. It's yeah, I don't know. It's when you first see him, as we said, he almost seems like unbeatable. The scary thing about him is, he just works as like such a great allegory for so many societal issues that the show is trying to tackle. And, you know, I think he exemplifies, perfectly what like it is to be in like an emotionally abusive relationship, especially in the show. Like in the comics, he's just kind of a jobber, that gets a hold of Jessica, and like the show definitely takes it further. Like yeah, like it takes it there. Which uh
More mature.
yeah, I would say so. Um, who's not mature is yeah, Kilgrave himself is not mature at all. It's like yeah, yeah, it's kind of hard to say. But he's like sort of horrifically relatable in a way. The performance is absolutely incredible from David Tennant, and that carries it only so far, but I think also his like backstory, his reasoning for why he's the way he is, yeah, he was a dying child who was getting experimented on. Really, he's more like crying child.
Yeah, I
If
mean, I don't think the crying child would have done what Kevin ended up doing. But
No, I mean, he's like if crying child broke bad or something. But yeah, I mean, cuz yeah, I don't know. He's like we see it in great detail, once he does show up, like the experiments they're running on him, they're like draining his spinal fluid and like holding him down, and just one day he gets his powers and tells his parents to stop. And I guess that was all she wrote because he's healed. I mean, he's fine. You know, um but yeah, it's like those were really his first victims, like they say they tried to like stay with him and like uh raise him even though he had these abilities, but it's just impossible. Ah yeah, but he's just so manipulative too. Like you can't really trust a goddamn word he says, right? Like there's this line that we think about a lot. It's like how would I know? He says to
we,
Jessica because dude, don't front, man. We talk about that line all the time. The delivery is just really good. But I think he's bullshitting for one. But what I'm saying is like, yeah, man, you're yeah. Let me get to you. Like, I think he's bullshitting, right? Um, is part of the reason I like it. Like, I think he had to have known what people are like, and it's not like what people feel like under his thrall because yeah, he never really asks either. The entire show is just Jessica, finding the broken pieces of people he leaves behind. Um,
I
sort of
know.
a
I
trail
mean,
of shattered glass.
he gives
Um,
himself so much like grace
yeah,
when he's been literally everything he has on a silver platter. But like the like Jessica or like just I mean his victims have to like work like their ass off, like sacrificing, you know, even themselves to an extent, uh, just to just to get a shred of something resembling like justice
he,
or like sanity. Um,
peace of mind. And it's like, yeah, I think a great, addition to that, like what he does to like Malcolm and all the people in the support group, and eventually, Ruben, who, yeah, he makes him kill himself, which is insane. He makes a lot of people kill themselves. It's honestly awful.
yeah, I mean, who, what kind of person would do that? You'd have to be a real sick person to make someone
Yeah,
to
he's just
fake a
he's like,
suicide. I mean,
yeah,
for any
he's like
reason.
yeah, he's just a self-pitying, piece of shit. He has, like you said, all the resources in the world, but he's never once tried to, fix himself. And like he's like Jessica doesn't know that she's immune to him for most of the series, which is why she's so afraid. If like she knew, he probably would have, been apprehended earlier. Or that's impossible to say because it's just really hard. Like even when she does go to the police, like he just has them he has them all ready to kill themselves, man. That's his favorite move, man. Like he loves having people, jump out to hurt Jessica or threaten to hurt themselves. Like that's what he does to Simpson after he's done with him. You know, um, that's just I don't know, like yeah, like
He
and the way
doesn't
he
care about
describes it,
people.
yeah, the way he describes it, he makes it sound like, okay, like I had to fend for myself. You know what it's like growing up without parents? And I can understand that, but um it's
Kevin, you chose to do that.
yeah, man, like and like, I can get it in the sense where like he has to be very careful with his words around people. Like if he doesn't want somebody to hurt themselves, and he has to be very. I don't think we've ever. Yeah, he can recall.
I
Like
mean, go fuck yourself. Like,
yeah,
you
he can
know,
also tell somebody to stop if he didn't mean it.
you can't
But
make
I
any
mean, I'm
jokes.
guessing.
Can't make any jokes.
I'm guessing. You know, um, I'm guessing, he did it on accident once. I mean, just how quickly did he get desensitized? Is kind of my question. And it's like,
Go
yeah,
home
he's
and
just
kill your family.
hmm, I mean, that's literally what he tells Hope Schlottman. That's like the main plot of the show. Um, and he's
Yeah.
British too, man. Fucking Brits, man. But yeah, I mean, you know, um, there's even like once he gets back in proximity with Jessica, he restores her childhood home as this big grand gesture.
Shout out
He's
Green Day. Shout out Interpol. Sorry.
okay. Can you stop?
Jessica's got good taste.
Yeah.
Child Jessica did. I don't.
Okay.
Sorry.
Please.
That's not her anymore.
You're like out of bio with this shit, dude. like, like you
She's a
have
very funny character.
whatever, man. You're not a black woman, or you can't pull it off. But yo, you should dress as Autobio
You're
for
right.
Halloween.
We should dress it out of bio. What you be
You,
the head, I be the body.
you.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
said you.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that
But
makes sense.
yeah, I mean, like,
Uh,
yeah, all because, like, yeah, like he replicates her like childhood home as like this big, romantic gesture, and like, man, he's trying to quote unquote woo her, you know, but he has a fundamental misunderstanding of what Jessica wants in a person to be with, one. And two, like he's not really willing to change. Like he says he won't control Jessica, but that's only because he can't.
yeah,
He
and
almost gets the audience to believe it too until the reveal.
he doesn't really acknowledge that, like, in terms of like, you know, generosity, like, what he's doing for Jessica, like I mean, not doing for her. Okay,
It's
first of all,
something that he
what
wants.
what I was
Like
gonna
he said.
say is, yeah, like God damn it. No, he doesn't understand that like some things can't be like forgiven, and like he doesn't accept that.
Yeah.
Because he's had everything he's ever wanted. Um
Hmm.
I mean, and like does he even care about forgiveness? He just cares about control, I guess.
Yeah. It's just another lever of control. Like all the lying he does, it even gets Jessica to a point where she considers, staying with him in the I think the titles in this are pretty good. It's all
Mhm.
AKA. My
Yeah, it's
favorite
all
title is
stuff they say in
AKA.
the episode.
Yeah, AKA the Samus that saved me. But my favorite one is AKA What Would Jessica Do? Where
Yeah.
Jessica is trying to reform Kilgrave and just realizes that he's a lost cause. Like
Yeah.
his power could be used for so much good, like so much actual generosity. and he can do it all like basically non-violently. He could have everything he wanted non-violently. It's just
Like, yeah, that's the thing about power, right? Like he has all this power, and so any amount of like generosity, it's like the difference between like a homeless person no donating $20 versus like a billionaire donating like 100,000.
1,000,000. Yeah.
Like any amount of generosity is like hardly any work realistically for him. Like he could move mountains, but uh it's like
Mm.
you know,
Yeah,
he's not interested in that. He's interested in doing the bare minimum to get his base desires.
yeah, and he
Um
never really grew up from that. I can understand as like a kid, you know, like being like that. But like, yeah, I don't know. I don't yeah. Not that I'm asking for, Kid Kevin, spin-off, but yeah, and yeah,
Young
he's
Kilgrave.
we're not getting any more origin from Grave, I bet.
And what if it
But
crosses over with young Sheldon? And like we see like
Young Sheldon's
how
over.
I know, but like we see like young Sheldon turn into an incel, and we see like Kevin turn into an incel. We see like that
But
transformation, and they're
Sheldon is
college
probably
roommates.
wholesale, really. I
Right,
mean,
right. Gamergate,
he's
you know.
technically an incel. I mean, I don't know. I'm not. We can get into the politics of Big Bang
We
Theory
can
if we
get
want
into
to that, but
Gamergate later.
well, yeah, we'll get into Gamergate sooner than we'll get to the Big Bang Theory. But yeah, but another thing about power is that, like, that line, how would I know? One thing that one adage that I think men should hear is that power is invisible to those who have it. Kilgrave is ultimately an allegory in this show for like, abusers and rapists and all of that. It's and the manipulators in general. Social. He's not necessarily a climber, but exploiter. Exploiters in general. It's like, he just says the word and he gets it. No matter what. And he really only rubs up against that with Jessica. And he says as much, but yeah, he's and like yeah, the disgusting manipulation doesn't even start with like the grand gestures or the speeches. It starts with hope. Like hope is like the way he decides to get Jessica back in his life. Like
What's
he's
that?
probably yeah, um you know
Just like a complete fucking like not cool.
what is
Not. I mean, he wants revenge on Jessica for leaving him for dead, right?
Mhm.
Um.
He wants revenge and to have her back and yeah, it's like really weird. Yeah.
Well, that might to him. I mean, yeah, that's how he justifies the level of cruelty that he's subjecting her to. He's like, well, you retaliated once, and now I'm punishing you. It's like, no, like you, like, I mean, obviously, it's just fucking honestly like delusional. Like, power can also make you delusional. That's another thing because there's no one to tell you that you're fucking wrong. Um, you know,
Literally, I don't think he talks to anyone. Like he doesn't have a single buddy.
his
He used
yeah,
to
his
get like the
parents. I mean, his
scientists.
father at the end. Well, but then he
Yeah,
fucking puts him in a fucking garbage disposal.
yeah. His father is armless twice. But yeah, you make a good point. About the retaliation of it all. Hope talks about that when
Mm-hmm.
Jessica's seeing her in the prison, where it's like, yeah, he just asked me to jump and jump for hours. You must be like a really good jumper, something like that. Hope is just, yeah, it's absolutely just disgusting. The whole plot with her, it's like you just feel so bad for the girl, man, and ultimately we find out, we get like she's always in the background. She's always Jessica's driving force throughout the show. we find out that she's pregnant with this kid, and she tries to get rid of it. And it does work. Jessica and Hogarth help her with that. W abortion.
I
But
mean,
Hogarth fucking keeps it, man. Hogarth
yeah,
keeps it.
might
Dude,
be a
fucking
freaking
evil ass.
snack for later.
Yeah, I know, man. She wanted the powers for herself, dude. Um, but yeah, it's just crazy. And then, man, throughout all of this, K- Kilgrave, he wants to trade Dad for Hope. Hope for Dad. Um, and but at the same time, he has, just his favorite trick in the book. Man, a bunch of people ready to kill themselves, people who he's already destroyed the lives of in one way or another. You know, which, the way they got there, I remember being very peeved at Robin, for how that ended up because they end up attacking Jessica. Everybody,
Yeah,
blames Jessica to some extent because, she's not necessarily open with what happened to her, and she doesn't have to be. But the lack of communication does cause problems for her. Um
I mean
yeah.
that's why so many victims stay silent is because of the things like whether it be like retaliation from their abuser or retaliation from like the system with the police or retaliation from like their community. Like so many things are keeping victims silent. Like people it's so easy for people to jump on the victim uh because it's just easier to punch down, and when you feel so powerless, any sort of sense of
Yeah, retribution feels
it
like.
it just turns people against each other. I
Yeah.
mean, in just another way that I mean, it's kind of abuse, just tears you know, people and communities apart. Yeah,
It
what are we planning to do about that? What are
Man,
we?
I don't know. I'm nobody's asking me to know. I don't think any one person can do something about that. I mean, even if you take out Kilgrave, there's still a bunch of fuckers out there.
Yeah,
The
I
story
even think
continues for Jessica.
uh,
But yeah, yeah, to get back to like, yeah, so Robin and those guys, they're all captured, you know, um, and he has them ready to jump, got the rope around their necks as we speak. And, one of my favorite sentences you can say while describing Jessica Jones to somebody in this show, hope literally kills itself. It's how dark it is. That's how depressing it is. And like, I think the writers probably like evilly cackled when
yeah, man,
they were fucking
they had a good
scribbling
day
that.
that day. They're like, ha ha
They're like,
ha. Yep, yep. Let's give ourselves a
"Yep,
pat on the back
yeah,
for
we're
that
going to
one.
lunch. Let's
Ooh,
go to lunch,
yeah.
boys." But it is pretty
But
profound.
yeah, I
Jessica
mean,
has to get rid of
once
the hope
hope
that she
that
can.
hope could be saved is lost,
Yeah, Jessica is
Jessica's basically
free.
given permission
Explicit permission.
to kill
Hope
Kilgrave
begs
because there's
Jessica.
nothing. I mean,
There's nothing
and
holding
maybe
her
that is
back.
the answer. It's like just destroy everything before more is lost because you can't save what's already. Is that the
I
lesson?
mean, I don't know.
Or is
I
that
was going
just
somewhere with
fucking
that. We were saying the same thing up to a point.
just what
But
people
I
are forced
think
to do
it's
in shit
it's it.
situations?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think people should abandon hope for the future, and I don't think Hope's decision was necessarily right because if Hope was safe, then Jessica, like if they completed the trade, he's still got his dad, to complete his fetus transformation. But yeah, if Hope was like alive, yeah, I don't think Jessica would still be trying to. Yeah, Kilgrave. Yeah, he
I
gets her
think
completely
I think
acquitted.
she absolutely would be trying to take Kilgrave in alive if Hope was alive.
If if Hope was alive and out of prison. The victims come together and you know, but on that day, Luke returns and he becomes a thrall of Kilgrave. In one of the grosser acts that he makes, he essentially lives out, and I have no other way to say this, his cuckold fantasies with Jessica through Luke, who is a large black man, and the overtones are just explicit there. He has her, he has him, saying these things to her, and yeah, that are all completely fabricated, completely written. I had originally forgotten. I thought, when Luke hires Jessica in the middle of the season, that was Kilgrave, but no, he doesn't get controlled until the end, which yeah, probably for the best because that's when Jessica tells Luke that his wife was killed by her and somebody else who made her do it. But yeah. Um, just Luke and Jessica though, I think, but in the comic, they are, married after a certain point, and it's not immediate. A relationship is on again, off again for a while, but hmm, it's more realistic that they get together. Like Luke would have to work through a lot, like with Jessica, because not only was she the one behind the gun that killed his wife, um, the punch. He was being lied to the entire time, stalked, manipulated. Do you think Jessica and Luke? Do you think it would be realistic if they got married in this universe? Is that something you would like to see? I mean, I would be fine with it, but it would take a lot, you know.
Yeah, I'd also be fine with it. I mean, like by the time of the Defenders, like they're like Jessica's like I guess comfortable enough. I don't know, comfortable enough about it to like joke about their relationship. Like in Defenders, there's like a Joss Whedon Luke Cage lands on Jessica Jones's boobs, and she's like, "Remember this?" Um, it's fucking you know, great work, Defenders writers.
Yeah, yeah. I was just
No,
I was
I'm
getting hit in
describing.
the head with that.
I'm flanderizing the scene. He doesn't land on our boobs. He lands like on top of her or something. She
Yeah.
lands on
I
top of
was
him,
just
something like that.
yeah. Yeah, Defenders does do some decent work with them, but yeah, I'm just not sure. I would like more
I
of
hate that
it,
I have to be
if Luke
honest
is in,
because
Daredevil
people can
3,
fact check.
but yeah, Luke is one of the final bosses of Jessica Jones. He gets shot, you know, right to the noggin, but since he's bulletproof, he just gets knocked out. I always thought that was a pretty cool piece of scaling or whatnot, you know, showing like, yeah,
So,
we like, and it's also a good bit of payoff because he wonders about the limits of his powers. And there you go, limit tested, you know? He's weak to blunt force trauma.
yep.
I mean, all trauma to him is blunt force unless you got some Judases on you
Hmm.
or some acid.
Yeah.
But
Or
yeah,
yeah.
b- but yeah, after Luke is sorted and he's healed up by the night nurse. Yeah, we get to yeah. Do you want to take us into the final battle, the showdown?
Yeah. I mean, Jessica sends in Trish with headphones. No, that's not. Oh well, yeah. And then there's like people. Dexter has a bunch of people hostage.
A bunch of
Um,
bunch of cops.
yeah, cops, but also just like dock workers. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm skipping
He's
ahead a little bit.
yeah, he's been experimenting on himself. We touched on it slightly. He injects his own fetus into himself and those are the
as
only
you
times
do.
where he's actually purple. The fetus essence of fetus or something like that.
Well,
It's
no,
incredibly gross and like dark and
when
like
he
all
gets beaten up,
aspects.
like he's very he has like purple veins and stuff.
Oh,
Um,
okay. But yeah, that shot of him getting that final injection, that was always something. I always rewind for that scene. It's pretty cool how they did that. Um,
mhm.
but yeah, you know, it extends his range and his duration of control, which was established to be 12 hours. Now it's like 32 hours or something, but still can't get Jessica. Their final showdown on the pier, man. And, yeah, and there's a bunch, you don't have to talk about all of it, but, long story short, that's the end of Old Gravy.
Yeah,
Um,
the original MCU snap. Um,
Yeah. Snap heard around the world, and it's like she has a ton of corroboration, for her story at the end, Like at that point, Kilgrave has fucked with enough cops, enough people in the city, you know, that, obviously they're gonna believe her. It's like I mean, they do lie about it, which I don't know why they'd have to, but I mean it would still be self defense. But yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I think
Uh,
they lie about it because nobody would believe them. They'd probably say it's like mass hysteria, even though it's the MCU and like similar crazy shit has probably happened in the past. I mean, depending on what you take as canon. But
mm,
at least Captain America and Captain Marvel.
yeah.
Like, I mean, but yeah, I mean those. But yeah, so yeah, I mean overall, peak. Um,
Yeah, I would have to, slide that in Mega Peak for sure. Yeah. But we've been talking for at least an hour now. We still haven't gotten to the competition, which I don't know. It's a tough that's a tough one, man. Fighting against, the Crusher Creel of Netflix seasons there. The comic accurate Crusher Creel.
yeah,
But we've got a pretty good one with Dexter season 5. While the central theme of Jessica Jones is like shame um, and abuse, uh, the theme of Dexter season 5 is healing.
yeah. So after the events of season 4, where Dexter's wife was serial killed, Dexter's wife and
Trinity.
mother of his child, Rita Morgan. Uh, this, yeah,
Dexter finds Lumen, another person, who's
suffered from a horrible
lost.
crime, who would have been lost if not for Dexter helping to bring herself to justice by serial killing them together. Um,
Yeah,
Deborah's obviously faced with the fact that a system where victims are criminals is imperfect. Like, after all, if Lumen didn't like escape, you know, Jordan Chase, like if Lumen hadn't escaped and gone after like her abductors, I think Jordan Chase probably would have just continued without Boyd. Like, how many women have
yeah,
to suffer before something is done? And Dexter's answer is like around 13.
yeah. I mean, with Deborah, her plot in this season, it's not just, it's kind of like the back half where she kind of gets on Dexter and Lumen's trail with the whole Barrel Girls case, but she's also facing the system of policing. She's fighting against, these serial beheaders in the first half of the season. And, she's constantly bombarded with, like, the politics and the bureaucracy of the police force and, how much her hands are tied by her boss and her position in society. She kind of gets on a
Hmm.
little bit of a Punisher kick. She does that. That plot line wraps up with her having a shootout in a nightclub where innocents die, and she's ultimately the one who pulls the trigger on the assailant. You know, and she doesn't feel bad at all, which is like a major revelation for her. LaGuerta is a big part of Deborah's, plot line in this season. LaGuerta she's really good at skirting the line between a reasonable person and absolutely fucking unbearable. She's just like she always comes around to explaining why she does what she does, but
Man,
yeah.
bureaucracy, man.
Yeah, no,
Just
but like
another word
she's
for
like
bullshit.
politicking. Yeah, I mean, in the words of Deborah, it's fucking bullshit. You can't fuck me like this or something like that. And she's very foul-mouthed, very foul-mouthed.
Good for her, you know. They
Yeah,
they they invent those words for no one to use.
hmm. Yeah, and another side character. Well, I guess LaGuerta's married to Angel, who's like, kind of, he's like, trapped between being married to this chick and, trying to be a stand-up, guy and detective and coworker. Yeah,
Friend.
I don't know. I think, their marriage is like it has its moments, but it's just so dysfunctional, and they got married for like completely for office politics, really. Um, it's just yeah, I don't know, free him, really.
What?
Another Deborah also spends a lot of time with Quinn, which in contrast, that's probably my favorite relationship throughout Dexter. It's a lot of fun seeing them together. I really love Quinn. He's from Boston. He talks like he's from Boston.
Is
It's a
he
good
from
change of
Houston?
pace. Yeah, no, you can hear it sometimes when he's like talking. And yeah, and like he's been Quinn has been suspicious of Dexter for a few seasons now, about like 2.5 seasons. Because he shows up in season 3, and there's like this kind of like at first he's uneasy about Dexter because he sees him doing something illegal, right? But
Hmm.
like this season is what builds that sort of unlikely alliance between the two. I think it's kind of cute where he ends up with it, but he starts off by hiring, Stan Liddy, who's just all right, man. He's kind of shady, to
Yeah, fantastic.
investigate Dexter
Walton
as a
Defoe.
yeah, investigate Dexter as a private eye. And yeah, I don't know. It doesn't end well for the guy. It does not end well. You just see like Quinn, morphing into somebody that Dexter he does not want to be on Dexter's bad side. Not only because he loves his sister, but because, man, Dexter helps him out as well. Dexter keeps looking the other way when he does shady stuff. So why do you keep poking the bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, as we mentioned, just back to the main plot of the season, Lumen is saved, from, you know, Boyd, um, Boyd like Walker, something like that. Man, super super normal name, and seemingly a normal guy. He works in animal pickup, and the episodes at the beginning of the season where Dexter is on his trail and like tracking him, spending time with him. You know, I don't know. He seems like, somebody you could meet on a job site or something like that. He seems like just your normal everyday average type of bloke, and that's what kind of makes it scary. Like, he doesn't even say that many off-color things. Sure, his job is weird, but yeah, that's no excuse. I will say though, his episodes are extremely entertaining not because of just how well he's written and acted, but man, I love his quick draw. When Dexter thinks he has him, man, he gets him in the neck. He's gonna take him to the kill room, but he fucking turns around, fucking falling back, man, like Kobe Bryant himself. He hits him with the dart, dude. Fucking, they have a showdown, looking for each other in the hospital. It's pretty cool, and that's how Dexter finds Lumen. He's forced to, yeah, he's forced to take him to his house, or go to his house. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just the entire crew. We don't spend nearly as much time with the rest of the members. But all of them seem relatively normal. Like the only like one of Boyd's friends is a convicted sex offender, but we don't really spend that much time with him, and he's like outwardly super gross and weird, but ultimately he doesn't fit the code because he wasn't a part of the Girl murders, which honestly, I don't know. Dexter won't kill rapists, but he will kill killers. Even though he has them on the table, everything's set up and everything. Um, I don't know, he is upset at himself, but yeah, man, he really could have followed through on that.
Yeah, I mean, you like killing, you know?
Yeah,
You-
it's like your favorite thing.
Yeah.
You can't, he won't stop talking about it. Ultimately, all at the center, we keep hearing over the radio, the words of Jordan Chase, a motivational speaker and figurehead for men and really anybody who want to quote get their life together, with his Take It DVDs or CDs, sells it all, T-shirts, books, um, and those words really echo throughout the entire season. Both of these shows examine toxic masculinity in its many forms. The way it's sort of born and bred and affects the world around you. And how normalized it all is. You know, as you so ever so affectionately call them, the chasers, you know, all feel transformed, by the words of Jordan Chase. You got a bunch of these dudes, man.
Yeah, you got Boyd. He's Quirk is hashtag noticing. Um,
he's
you
he's a
obviously
safety guy.
yeah. You got Stinky Man. He's his quirk is that
Who?
he
Why do you
smells really
call him
bad.
Stinky?
Lumen recognizes him from his stench.
You
Um,
mean Dan the dentist?
yeah, Dan the dentist. Uh,
Right. He smells.
yeah, his quirk is that he can tell people that women lie, and that's sort of like
Mm.
ooh, that's kind of a gotcha. Like ooh, maybe we shouldn't believe any victims now. All
Mm.
right. Anyways, then we got Cole. He's got kind of a basic power quirk. It's kind of weak to sharp or fast moving object.
Yeah, isn't everyone? But Cole, we do spend a lot of time on Cole, man. There is like a false alarm with Cole when they set up the kill room for him. He has a guest in his hotel room at the retreat they're all at. You know, and yeah, he's having consensual sex with a willing participant, but it sounds just horrible from the outside looking in, which man, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Uh yeah.
Yeah, you have the banker guy. Um,
Mm.
he has bribery, which is another powerful
It's another tool.
another tool in the rapist toolkit.
Well,
Um,
or anybody trying to cover up something, you know.
yeah, true. Um, and then
He'll get them. Then at the top, man.
you got Eugene, or Jordan Chase as he's his alive name. And
Mm.
he has a narrator site. Um,
Yeah, he's super interesting, I think. One of the reasons I love this season so much is that when I first watched it, I always saw Jordan Chase as like kind of like a Tate like, figure. And
mhm.
it really lines up pretty well, motivational speaker, yada yada, fucking trafficking people. I mean, probably a murderer.
Killing them, dumping
Um,
them in barrels, allegedly.
yeah, they make it
I'm
sound
not
so
trying to get
fun.
sued for slander.
Um, but yeah, he's always um the thing about
Sorry, you're
these
cutting out.
like figureheads for these movements, like these manosphere dudes, it's like, especially for somebody like me, I don't know if you've ever felt the same way about them, but occasionally they have points, occasionally like these guys, their entire career And, whether it be with women, with men, with audiences, selling something, whatever, what they do is they have a theory for like getting into the mind.
Oh, I mean, I can't understand. Uh,
And I wouldn't say Jordan Peterson is like a Chase or a Tate, but it even rhymes, but like, yeah, like when you hear him just say, if you want to get your life together, start by cleaning your room because your room is like, a reflection of your inner self. And that's a good start. That's a great premise. Their talking points are outwardly palatable, and they're pretty charismatic. Um, like Andrew Tate is, say what you want about the guy, and I will say a lot. Don't let me see you, bro. If I'm ever in Florida, bro, it's up. But say what you will about him, man. He's a good entertainer. He's a good speaker. He knows how to captivate his audience. And if you listen to every sixth thing he says, yeah, you could probably change your life for the better. They're very good at presenting this facade um of like of a desirable outcome for a lot of people, especially for men. A lot of the parallels, I like see and hear between, Tate and Chase, they're always talking about like how you should take control of your life, and, how humans are ultimately, primal beings. And like, I have not heard as much from Chase as I have from Tate just because one is fictional. But, at least as far as that goes, I do agree with, but like, and I can go on about this for like at least 10 minutes, but, you know, like, what if what I want is to see you, dead? you know? Um, like, I think this season of Dexter is very interesting in that way, and it was very gratifying to watch for the first time as somebody who wants Andrew Tate not in America or Romania or Antarctica or anywhere. Is that, man, at a certain point, yeah, they like do get it, but they take it to like this whole different place. Um, And like the fact that he and Dexter, like something Dexter really doesn't, acknowledge until really like the end of the season is like Jordan Chase, his words, his actions, did have an effect on like him, on transforming him, but not in the way that Jordan Chase would have liked. And I mean, it's like they really do just work through the fucking war room or whatever, whatever they're calling themselves these days. They've got fucking names like the KKK, man. Fucking, I don't know. Yeah, man.
KKK.
Yeah, in the war room, Andrew Tate's war room, code names and stuff. Like the KKK has like Grand Wizard and all that bullshit.
Yeah, man. I
Yeah,
think you
would you
have
like to
top
weigh in on that?
yeah,
You
you have
were,
top G.
yeah, top G. Yeah. Do you want to weigh in on those words there?
Yeah, I think that, you know, the idea that you need to seize the moment um is one thing, but you also you need to have respect for others. You can't seize the moment at the expense of someone else's, right? I mean,
Mm.
I don't know. I mean that seems like where the line should be. Um, and I guess that's what George Chase misses or doesn't care about.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, in his speeches, it's not really the focus at all. It's all about, you. Definitely like sort of a Satanist, bent to it. Like which hmm, I don't necessarily have
Satanism's
a
all
big
right.
problem. Yeah. The philosophy, Satanism, not the religion. Which I guess it is a religion, but not whatever. They're like atheists. Fucking
Yeah, they're atheist LARPers, not like us real
and,
Christians.
and it goes to show like how similar, Chase and Dexter are. He does that Dokes thing where he can hear his passenger. Man. Uh, he repeats, but instead of like asking him what he said, he like Dexter will think something and Chase will say it to him as advice. Which is kind of annoying, when like somebody's about to say like saying something you were thinking and now they're going to think they thought it and they're going to feel like a genius. They're not geniuses. Um, you know, and I
Neither
don't
are
know.
we.
It's Yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely not.
Right,
But yeah,
right.
it takes a while for Dexter and Lumen to build trust with each other and come together. I think, you know,
Yeah.
their relationship is one of the stronger parts, of this season. I love that it's a slow burn. When it first happened, like when I first saw it, I wasn't a huge fan, I guess, but I think it definitely won
Yeah.
me over, especially with like how long it takes and like it's at the end of the season that they're really involved like romantically. Um I think they play it pretty well if that's what you're going to do. But yeah, it's just yeah, it's sweet, the kids, Aster, Cody, Aster gets a lot more screen time than Cody in this season, which makes sense because she's angry at Dexter about what happened, and Cody still loves him. Well, they both still love him, but you know what I mean. And yeah, the way she phrases it to Dexter is like, do you think you helped your friend? One of the final, questions of the season is like, did it make you feel better about what happened to mom? Which is, really, like we said, the overall theme is about like, about healing, healing through murder. Which, I don't know if that would work in real life. We're not endorsing
Don't
that
knock it till you try it.
really. Yeah. But like, yeah, Dexter doesn't really have an answer to that because he's thinking about words that Chase said, you can't do one thing to make up for another. That's not how the real world works. But he refutes Chase in his mind, but he doesn't answer whether or not it helped him with the death of Rita. I love that he does take ownership and says that it is his fault, for Rita dying. I like that Aster says that as well because it is his fault. It definitely was a bounce back season for me. Um,
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to actually, but I don't think Aster is saying that it's his fault that Vita's dead. Um, it's Dexter's fault for making them think that things were gonna be okay.
well, yeah, yeah. I mean, she doesn't always say it like that. I mean, she explains that later. Like, there are scenes where it's like she says, "Oh, this is your fault, Dexter,"
I mean,
and he's like
yeah,
thinking
he's
to
like,
himself, and she runs
"Where
off,
were
and then he
you?"
thinks to himself, "Yeah, where were you?" and all that. But yeah, man. He also agrees with her in his head, is what I'm saying. He never outwardly says, "Yes, it is my fault, and I had a direct link to your mother's murder." But
I know, but I don't think that she's even saying that. I mean, I think that she's a child, and she's like obviously processing a lot of grief and trauma. But I don't
mm,
think she ever actually believes that it's Dexter's like fault in any reasonable way. Like I think that I mean she's mad at she's mad at him for the reasons that she says, I think.
yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah,
think we should believe women.
sure. I mean, but like you said, she also says, "Where were you?" You should have been there to protect her.
I
Um,
mean, but we asked her where were you, you know? Just a
oh
shit
yeah, we
argument,
know where she
really.
was. we know where she was. Nobody knew where Dexter was.
Yeah, man. I was fucking dealing with some shit. Some of us have jobs. I don't see you paying the bills. Fuck. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Easily refuted.
yeah, I have got to throw this shirt away. But yeah,
Text me for a lock in.
yeah, hmm, yeah, hmm. It's all acted really well. It's a really sad season of TV. Just yeah, I would recommend all of Dexter to get to this season, even though I don't love season 4. I wouldn't say it redeems it, but it makes it mean something. Uh,
Yeah, just like
yeah,
it doesn't make Rita's, just like in the show, like helping Lumen doesn't make Rita's, come back from the dead, but it does.
yeah,
It's a start, it's a start
yeah,
to
and
no,
it, like,
it's not a
yeah.
start. What the fuck? No, it's
Well, I
not.
mean, it's a start to their journey of healing and
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
and their
a
change as people to, be better
uh,
than that. Which, man, once we get to season 6, is Dexter better than what he was doing in season 4? But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's not just the murderous men that are problematic in either of these shows. But in Dexter, like we have like Quinn in like the start of the episode saying that he understands the impulse to chop off your partner's head. Like and
Hmm.
obviously by that's obviously insane. Like Deborah disagrees with that. But by the end, Deborah understands the impulse to like kill your rapist, or
Or
like
kill
abuser,
anybody, or
and like
or
I've
killer, or like anybody. Like they're pretty
like
broad with it.
but like the difference is clear, right? The difference, I mean, and taking this back to, I guess, something that they said in, I think, Legion season 2 is like, men are afraid that women will laugh at them, and like women are afraid that men will kill them. I mean,
Hmm.
like this is like Quinn saying he understands getting mad enough to like getting annoyed enough to kill your partner, versus like Deborah being like, yeah, you should probably. I mean, it's it's right to it's self defense. Okay, it's not self defense, but
Well, I mean,
it's
she
defensive.
thinks it's her arc is more thinking it's more okay to kill bad people, and
Exactly. Like, yeah.
yeah.
It's
I mean,
like that's it, like I guess it's an element of like sort of the passive and normalized violence, like that women face and tolerate, like sort of, and like the the sort of lack of sensitivity it's treated with by like non-violent men because of the real violence of like monsters like the chasers. Like that, like people are allowed to get away with saying horrible things because, well, at least they're not actually like killing. I
yeah,
mean, like obviously not saying that like saying something is as bad as doing something. Far from it. But like it's just sort of the casual, I guess, casual violence against women, or I guess the casualness that it's
the
treated with.
cruelty, casual
Yeah,
cruelty. Yeah, I don't know. With like Deborah's arc, though, I mean, one of probably my favorite scene in this season. Um, it's close between when he kills Liddy and this one. When he lets when Dexter lets Deborah go.
well,
Um,
let's Dexter go.
yeah, when Deborah lets Dexter and Loon go, she has this pretty long monologue. Um, and I'm not gonna quote it verbatim, but yeah, she tells him to fucking like she's on the edge of like, caution and understanding. Her compassion, does have limits though. It's it's real interesting. she gives them a tip that the cops are coming, and they all get out of there. But yeah, the men of both series is, it's like, hmm, they're they're allies, quote unquote, and like, adversaries. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just going down like off the top of my head, there's obviously what Quinn says. There's Batista with his marital issues, like like being insecure that LaGuerta makes more money than him, being jealous of her because when she's undercover. And obviously there's whole Masuka's whole deal. I mean, just Masuka's existence. And like Dexter is a good boy usually, but he doesn't believe Lumen at first until Dan the dentist sells. He
Yeah,
because of his lack of object permanence, he forgets that Dexter and Lumen are in the other room, so he
yeah.
just
Well,
calls his.
he was giving them a warning. He's giving them a warning. And yeah, I don't know. It goes to show like the different levels of cowardice in their group, like some like Boyd doesn't really give up much, you know. But like Dan the dentist definitely does, you know. The bodyguard Cole is like he fucking sells the entire thing, man. He gives them every single name. Dude, every single name. Um, you know. Yeah, and then Chase, by the time they get to Chase, man. Like uh I think, while he's with Dexter, he doesn't really start suspecting him for a while. He is pretty clairvoyant though. Like he can tell it's Lumen over the phone. It's a pretty cool scene, but man. But yeah, I think Jessica Jones does a better job of showing, how men are victimized in this way by the system, Um, and obviously it's a bit different because it's like, supernatural. But yeah, there's legitimately lives ruined, and ended, by Kilgrave. Um, you know, Simpson lost his boys, man. His even Simpson, who I don't know, could probably wrap up, the Barrel Girls case, in his own way. Um, yeah, even he loses a great deal to Kilgrave, and the way he handles it is to disregard and cut out the women in his life and undermine their efforts. But I mean, Malcolm, on the other hand, is victimized, and he leans in. He goes from useless to benign. I don't know, like talking about somebody being a stalker because they were mind controlled is like tough, or because they're an addict, but like, yeah, he really makes an effort to help and try to change, and you know, um, you know, join the support group and be an ear there.
Yeah, I mean, lead
He's
the support group.
always once he's back, he's like a voice of reason for the rest of the show, the next few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Luke
Yeah.
as well. I mean, though Luke, it's kind of the reverse. When the last time we see Luke, he's getting out of Dodge. He gets advice not to go deal with that, so he does not deal with that. Does not want to get shot in the head again. Um, it seems bad, but yeah, I don't know. Hmm.
I mean, I get it. Like, if you have a person who can just control people, like being a superpowered person, I mean, that makes you a liability. Uh, unless you're wearing
Yeah,
earphones.
yeah. Yeah. This was I don't know. Yeah, it's weird because in the comics, Daredevil being Daredevil and having his power set makes him immune to Kilgrave's powers. While the way it's kind of described, like, wouldn't that make him more sensitive to it? I don't know. In the comics, Jessica Jones needs like Jean Grey to, you know, give her a mental protection against Kilgrave. So Whatever. Let's just give a ranking for Dexter 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's pretty good. Like I would say it's simple peak, you know.
Yeah, I
I'm
agree
not
there.
sure
Simple Peak.
what's
It's
missing. I guess I mean
it's a bit
it's
slow.
just I
It's a
guess
bit
coming
slow
off of season 4,
to start.
the whole dead wife thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the tone, you know, yeah, I love the tone. Uh
Yeah, I mean it's even I don't know. I feel like maybe this is just delusional, but I feel like the colors in Dexter, you know, they did get brighter as the more rapists that
oh
were
yeah.
killed, you know, it's like the world got a little lighter every time. Um,
Mm,
and
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think the Jordan Chase and his chasers were probably, I don't know, they're right behind the Ice Truck Killer for me in terms of like villains, you know. I mean, if we're counting like antagonists, like if we're counting like Dokes and Lila and all that, I don't know where they would
Yeah,
stand, but
I think
yeah, I
people
mean
count
they're pretty high
Lila
up there
um as the season
as an
2 uh
uh
person. I
antagonist.
guess yeah,
Damn.
and Dokes is just
He's
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 Dokes, man.
he's
He's his own.
unreplaceable.
He's irreplaceable.
I mean, they literally replace him with Quinn though.
Yeah, man. And look how that
Yeah, I
turned
don't
out.
know. Yeah, man. But yeah, this is a messy one. So thanks for listening, and we'll have to double back at some point on all this, man. I know I will. I know I will. You know, just trying to talk about it off the top. It's like it's too complex. Too complex, and we definitely tried not to make light of, you know, the topics here. So yeah, but thanks. Well, talk soon, YouTube. Goodbye.